when I first started this, I made a video, and it's called Reparations is Real This Time. This reparations is real this time. All right, so I didn't know what I was doing, and I'm never going to erase those videos. That's my trial and error stuff. And it says support for bills HR 1 and HR 40 in Congress. And people were trying to get the reparations through. So this is my follow-up to that video. And funny enough, I'm still wearing my same house coat, my same house dress. There are men outside my window where I live, and they're the maintenance men fixing my little pom-pom. They're fixing the so I'm going to be cutting this video too. Right outside my window. They just got to my front. They just got to where my window, and they're doing maintenance on the bushes. But anyway, it's funny. I made this. You can see 5/24/21. That's how long ago I made that, right? All right. So the update on my purpose of the reparations, because reparations is real, and there are people that are in Congress that are trying to do reparations. But my take on reparations and money for the people, because for the people, I'm changing the title. It's no longer going to be called I use Jergens. My mother's been using Jergens Restorasol forever. Jergens and Vaseline on lips, on the face. So what happens is I'm no longer going to call For the People Fund. It is going to be called Money for the People Fund. Money for the People Fund is for everyone in America, including immigrants that have been here for 10 years and that have paid taxes into the system for 10 years under a Social Security card. Whether it's their card or not, if you have paid 10 years as an immigrant, not a migrant, people who have migrated here, they work under a different system. People who have a visa, they work under a different system. Because some people work here and then they go back. Some people have a visa, they work here and they go back. So I'm talking about people who they come from another country, they got in line, and they went through the naturalization process, and they literally became citizens. So that is the difference between somebody who migrated here and someone who is working on a work visa. I'm talking about people who became United States citizens through the immigration process. That's one thing, that you are actually a citizen. Not someone who got in a boat and they migrated here. Those people are not actually citizens. So I just wanted to be clear on that. So if you've been here as an immigrant 10 years or more, and you've paid into the system 10 years or more, and you are 18 years of age or older, or you are a United States citizen and you are 18 years of age or more, Money for the People is who I am talking about. Now, if you're an adult and you can't manage your own finances, and someone else is managing your finances, it's no different than if you were on SSI and somebody is managing your finances. Obviously, if you are an adult and you have autism, then you have a guardian. Or if you don't, then the state has to be your guardian, or someone in your family is your guardian. But you still qualify because you're over 18 years of age. So reparations is what I'm talking about. The one-time payment of reparations for anyone who was born in 1990 or earlier. Okay, 1990, 1989, 1988, 1987. Okay, because some people don't understand 1990 or earlier. You were born before 1990. And the reason for that is because the racism that we experienced by the government. Okay, reparation is for people, is because we were discriminated against, and the harms that were done to us were done by the government. I'm not talking about somebody did something to you and you experience racism by a person or by a group of people. That type of racism is still going on. You got to go after those people. I'm talking about reparations for what the government did to us, Black people. Okay. So just let me get that clear. I know that there are people that are still being because I don't want nothing getting on my feet. All right, so I know that there did I lose my train of thought? Yes. I know that there are things happening to damn it. I know there are things happening to people where people today where people are doing things to them. And I know there are things where the government can give people grants, and I know there are corporations that where there's systemic racism going on. But that's a corporation, and there are things that are still going on academically where the government is still there's systemic racism going on in the government because they're not distributing funds. But that doesn't call for financial reparations and to be given money for reparations because you've lost your culture, you've lost your language. Because as I've said, the language and stuff and your culture heritage that was lost, most of the people and the generation today, you wouldn't even be using your language had it been passed down to you anyway. Most of you are out there listening to Beyonce and rap music. You would not have had an interest in your culture, in your history. You're not. Roland Martin has Roland Martin Unfiltered. He has a show right now, the Black Star Network, and he's trying to get young people interested in his show, and y'all aren't even registered to that. You're not interested. You're not putting your money into that. But let Beyonce release something, and y'all run and y'all buy her stuff up just like that. But he has to stand there and tell y'all over and over and over again. Come on, young people. This is for you guys. You need to know about your history. You need to know about what happened. You can't erase the past because you won't know what happened so that you don't let it happen again. Nope. You're not interested in what happened. You have Michi X. She's doing the same thing. She's trying to teach y'all stuff. And so, you clowns want to go out there and buy rap music. You're not, and shake your ass on YouTube. So you're not interested in your Black heritage. You're not interested in your Black history. So I know you're not interested in your Black culture and your language that you used to have. You're not interested in it. So why should you receive reparations for it? You shouldn't. A lot of you don't even want to go to college. You don't. But those of you who do, you can get a grant for that. So you haven't lost anything, so you don't need to be paid for something that you're not even interested in the first place, where there's money behind it. Oh, pay us for it, compensate us for it, because you just want the money. But you haven't suffered the loss of it like the people in the earlier generations have suffered for it, and the loss of it. So you shouldn't be compensated for it. Okay. So anyway, this is the updated video, because the other thing is that future videos that I have coming out are going to show not only the hoax of inflation. The future videos that I have coming out will show that every single American and the immigrants that have been in paying taxes for 10 years or more, if we vote people in and get the people who are already in there to pass an act for the one-time payment of the reparations for Black people born in 1990 and earlier, the one-time reparation, and an act for a weekly check in the amount of $1,776 for every American and immigrant under those terms, for that is tax-free and that is exempt. It is, in other words, it is not considered income. It is not to be counted, and it is to be exempt from everything. If you have arrears, if you owe child support, if you have arrears for child support, it is exempt. If you owe child support, it is exempt. If you owe a debt, it is exempt. If you have a lawsuit against you, it is exempt. If you owe taxes to the IRS, it is exempt. And don't look at me like I'm crazy. There's a reason for this. There is a reason for this. If you owe any type of debt, it is exempt. If you owe a student loan, it is exempt. It is exempt from everything. If you owe money to the government under any circumstances, it is exempt. You have to get the government, the senators that are in office, to make this money exempt from everything. If you are on SSI, it is exempt. If you receive any type of money from payment from the government, any benefit of any kind from the government, whether you receive benefits from veterinarian benefits, it is exempt. If you receive your SSDI, it is exempt. If you receive SSI, it is exempt. It is not considered income. It is not considered income. If you are on Section 8, it is exempt. If you get TRA, it is exempt. This money for the people is exempt, and it is an act, a permanent act. And you know why I'm saying this? Is because this $1,776 weekly payment that every citizen is to receive is because it is to get rid of the high inflation. They're going to give us the money, and the money is to be used, is to be spent to get rid of poverty. We're going to use the money, and we're going to spend the money to get rid of poverty. This way, we're spending the money and putting it back into the economy. Therefore, it will lower the price of doing business in America, and inflation will come down. The cost of business will come down. People can start their own business, taxes will be paid. The more we spend money, the more taxes will be collected and put back into the system. Because, see, it's our taxes anyway. It's our tax dollars anyway. And so we're putting that money right back into the economy. And the reason I keep saying about the inflation being a hoax is because what are they doing when they pass a bill? They take our tax dollars and they spend our tax dollars. That is what they're doing. They're taking our taxes that we work for. They're taking that money and they're not borrowing against it. They are not borrowing our tax dollars. They're taking our tax dollars that they collect every month, every week. They collect tax dollars from us and they spend it. They allocate it. I'm going to tell you what else they do with that money. But they collect so much money from us. And sometimes you'll hear Bernie Sanders and you'll hear Elizabeth Warren say, we only need a penny. It is true. They only need to allocate a penny of the money because they collect so much money from us. A penny of what they collect from the tax dollars from us. A penny of every tax dollar that they collect from us every week is billions of dollars. But you can't fathom it because you don't understand how much money that is. Well, start to fathom it. Start to put it together. So they can have the one-time payment for reparations. They can allocate that and have that paid off in no time. This is how Bill Clinton was able to get rid of our debt. But this is how he did it. That's how he wiped out our debt, because he said, if I just put that money aside, I can pay off our debt. How could he possibly have paid off our debt? Everybody's saying, oh my God, that's so much money. Yeah. It's not so much money when you take all of the money coming in and you allocate the money and put it aside. If it's just my little pissed ass little check, it's a lot of money. But when you take my little pissed ass check and all your little piss ass checks and you put them all together, if you're collecting $300 million every hour, people, it's not a little piss ass check. So that's how you pay off the debt. And then interest on top of that. And you do it every day. Our Congress people are collecting billions of dollars. And then the interest on the billions of the dollars. So it'll blow your mind how much money of our tax dollars they're making and spending. This is how they're able to do all this big business with all these people. All of our money they're taking and they're blowing it. And then they tell us we can't do it because inflation is going to go up. Guess who raises inflation? A motherfucker sitting behind a desk with a pen. They raise inflation. He raises inflation. Every president has a person that they hire and they raise inflation. And then the business says, the business owners say, well, if you're going to raise inflation, the cost for me to do business goes up. Now I'm going to raise the cost of my product. And they pass that down to who? You and me. So that's why I keep telling you inflation is a hoax, because whomever the president is, all they have to do is instruct their person, don't raise inflation. As a matter of fact, the president can say lower inflation. And then the cost of business, the person and who's running their business, they don't have to raise the cost of doing business. It goes down. But we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about that. because the people that were going to vote in office, they can make a law that says it is illegal. We're going to make an act that says whomever the president is, they're going to instruct their person to lower what? Inflation. As a matter of fact, they can make a law that says we're going to do away with that position. Hi, everybody. We're going to get rid of the person that created inflation. Hello, everybody. Hello. Because inflation is a hoax, the cost of doing business. Who created that? I'm going to do a video when I do the rest of my stuff. All right, so I have to go because the cost of doing business doesn't have to cost. It only has to cost what it costs. Inflation doesn't have to make the costs go up. It only has to cost what it costs. If an aluminum can, if the cost to make an aluminum can costs $3, and inflation makes the cost of the aluminum can cost $15. Who made the can cost $15? A person made the can cost $15 because the goddamn aluminum still costs the same price.